This is week 2 on Cost of Discipleship, Dietrich Bonhoeffer's book. Last week we looked at cheap grace versus costly grace, that the cross cost Jesus everything, and that is how he won grace. So for us, our repentance costs us. It's not a cheap thing. This week's video is about what discipleship is. So, preliminary question, what is a disciple? What does it mean to be a disciple? And from Latin, the word means learner. So a disciple is a learner, someone who receives from Jesus. Now, also, he will call us to go out and share that, which would be being an apostle, but first we receive before we then give. One interesting point that Bonhoeffer brings up, and I had never noticed it until he pointed it out, the first thing that he says to the apostles is, "Come follow me," in some form. Whatever gospel you read, John's is a little bit of back and forth. Not, "Come believe in me, come follow me." The faith comes later, Peter's confession, "Jesus, you are the Son of the living God." But first it's following him, and then through that learning who he is, and then coming to faith. And Bonhoeffer is very clear, like you can't separate obedience and faith, but the first call, at least for the 12, is one to obedience. Now, since it's the Easter season, it's vitally important that Jesus rose from the dead in order to have discipleship. Because discipleship means following Jesus as a living person. Jesus is not just some martyred prophet that we follow his example. We're actually following him. And there is a difference. One thing he says is Christianity without the living Christ is essentially Christianity without discipleship. And then Christianity without discipleship inevitably becomes Christianity without Christ. The fact that Jesus is living is integral to the Christian faith and also integral to discipleship. And I'm actually saying that these two things are the same. The Christian faith, the Christian life, and discipleship are one and the same, just understood in different ways. This week, I'm not going to dive into what that means. I'm not going to dive into what costly grace means as far as discipleship goes. That'll be next week's video. This one, I just want you to ponder the phrase that Jesus said to the 12, "Come follow me." What does "come follow me" look like for your life, or what do you want it to look like? Because ultimately, it's what is Jesus asking of you? And a very practical way is, how can you this week come follow him more closely? P.S. Be a hero today.